Hello, lip dubbers. Let's talk about lighting. Lighting is very important for a lip dub video because it's necessary to have the faces of the subject you're filming to be illuminated as well as the background choreography. So let me give you some tips on how to avoid bad lighting. Number one is something called backlighting. And that's when you're filming in front of a window and it's so bright in the window that it puts your subject in a shadow, kind of like this. It's very hard to see what your subject is lip syncing to. So a tip to avoid doing that is to either one, try and not film in front of a window. But if that's unavoidable, something you could do is either put a poster or a black trash bag covering the window so that it'll better illuminate your subject and not the window. And tip number two would be to try and avoid filming in dark classrooms or dark hallways. When it's dark, you can't see anything. To try and improve this, bring in lamps or flashlights. Try and fill the room with as much light as you can so you can properly see the subject lip sync. Number three, when you transition from going from an interior to an exterior environment, what you notice is that as soon as you open the door, everything's either washed out or really dark. It's very hard to see what's happening. A lot of modern cameras these days, they have an auto iris. And so when the camera goes from a dark to a bright situation, it's like, whoa, what's going on? And it takes a few seconds to readjust and make things look pretty normal again. So a couple of tips on how to avoid this. Time the transition during a point in the song where there's no lyrics being sung. So it will give the camera time to adjust and the audience will be able to see the entire lip sync process. Another thing you can do is something called a manual iris exposure. If your camera happens to have a manual iris exposure, then it would be a good idea to set it to manual and then make the adjustments yourself so that you'll have a smoother transition. Another tip would be to try and, if you can, film on an overcast day. That way you'll be able to cut out the harsh lights that the sun will be shining on a bright day. So if you can film on an overcast day, that would be ideal. I hope these tips help you, lip dubbers. And just remember, if there's a light, there's a way. And don't forget to share what you guys are doing. #Fox50LipDub.